Shalom, everybody. It is the Wyco Nomad, and we are continuing with our readings. And this light is kind of giving me some really funky. Don't be so vain. Yeah, but you don't want to look completely weird. That's a little better. Not really. So let us continue with Genesis. And we will start with Genesis 14. And it came to be in the days of Amraphel, sovereign of Shinephar, Arioch, sovereign of Eleazar, Keldorla, Omar, I think it's more like Omir, sovereign of Elam, and Tidal, sovereign of Goyim, that they fought against Bera, sovereign of Saddam. Bershia, sovereign of Amorah. We would know that as Gomorrah. So we have Sodom and Gomorrah. Shinab, sovereign of Admah. Shema Emar, sovereign of Ziboim, and the sovereign of Bela. That is Zoar. And yes, I am destroying the Hebrew words. I apologize. I strive to do better. All these joined together in the valley of Siddim. That is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Kedor ala Omar, and the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year, Kedor la Omer and the sovereigns that were with him came and struck the Raphaim in Ashtaroth, Cuyarim, and the Zuzim in Ham. Now, we remember Ham and the Emites in Shawal, Qyathayim. These are horrible, I might try. And the Horites in their mountain of Seir, as far as El Paran, which is by the wilderness. And they took back and came to En Mizpah, that is Kadesh, and struck all the county of the Amalekites, and also Amorites who dwelt in Hatzetson Tamar. Hatzetson Tamar. We are on 14:8, and the sovereigns of Saddam, and the sovereign of Gomorrah, and the sovereign of Admah, and the sovereign of Ziboim, and the sovereign of Bela, that is Soar, went out and joined together in battle in the valley of Siddim against Kedor la Omar, sovereign of Eliam, and Tidal, sovereign of Goyim, and Amraphel, sovereign of Shinar, and Arioch, sovereign of Eleazar. 4 sovereigns against 5. So we got 4 kings against 5. In the valley of Siddim, and back to 14:10. And the valley of Siddim had many tar pits, and the sovereigns of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and the remainder fled to the mountains. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food and went away. And this is where they made a mistake. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and left. So they basically just kidnapped Lot. Possibly a bad decision. We're going to find out. And one who had escaped came to inform Abram, the Hebrew. Okay. Whoops. So back to 14:13. And one who had escaped came and informed Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt by the terebinth trees of Mamre, the Amorite brother of Ishcal, the brother of Aner, and they had a covenant with Abram. So they had a contract. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his 318 trained servants who were born in his own house and went in pursuit as far as Dan. We're going to touch back to that one. I want to go back to 14. And he and his servants divided against them by night and struck them and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is on the left of Damascus. So he brought back all the goods and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods, as well as the women and the people. And after his return from the striking of Kiladorla Omar and the sovereigns who were with him, the sovereigns of Sodom came out to meet him in the valley of Sawah, that is, the sovereigns' valley. Here's a big 14:18, huge mic drop. And Melchizedek, sovereign of Salem, or Salem, so Melchizedek, the king of peace, brought out bread and wine. Now he was the priest of the Most High El. And he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram of the Most High El, possessor of the heavens and earth. And blessed be the Most High El, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." And he gave him a tenth of all. And the sovereign of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the people and take the goods for yourself." But Abram said to the sovereign of Sodom, "I have lifted my hand to Yahweh, the Most High El, the possessor of the heavens and earth, not to take a thread or a sandal strap or whatever is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich, except only what the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men who went with me, Anar, Ishcal, and Mamre. Let them take their portion." I'm going to stop there for a moment. So let's go back to 14. We have Abram that heard that his brother was taken captive. Okay? They took Lot, Abram's brother's son. That's Abram's brother. At this point, he's like, "This is my brother. I'm taking care of you. You are a brother." Okay? Abram heard that his brother was taken captive. He armed 318 trained servants. So we have 318 trained men at Abram's disposal. Now that's community, that's fellowship, that's something many of us, we need to strive for, to be able to, at a drop of a hand, to say, "Oh, pardon me, hey, I need your assistance." And they're like, "Ready, we're ready to go." And they were born in his own house, which means even though they were servants, think about this, most likely the moms, before they were giving birth, would go into his house and he'd make sure, they were taken care of. He took care of his servants. And some Bible translations have it listed as slaves. They were servants. We like to use that slave thing a little too often, I think, when many people try to rebuke the Bible and say, "Oh, it tells you how to have slaves." No, it tells you how to treat your servants. Now, military tactics are being utilized here. In many, when you study military tactics, a lot of people point to, let's look at the Bible. This has been utilized for years. So we have here his servants divided against them at night. So at night, they divided their forces and went in. That's an L-shaped formation. Oh. And when they went in, they pursued them. This is military tactics being utilized to basically, we have an extraction, folks, and we're going to go in, and this is what we need to do. Lot's got himself in a predicament. We're going to extract him. While you do it, let's be smart. Now, this one is up to debate, and a lot of people like to go, no, there was only one. So, oh, didn't really get any on that. Ice Cube got in the way. 1418. And Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a very amazing person. He has no beginning and he has no end. For he is the king and high priest of peace, of Salem, of Shalom. Melchizedek, the king, brought out bread and wine. Who also brought out bread and wine for some people, for about 12 of them. Ooh. So, if we flip to Hebrews, I believe it is, not Peter, Hebrews, not Romans. We must speak to the Hebrews. We must write as we are Paul. We must write letters to the Hebrew followers of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, as some would say. And many of you are going to find out, I'm not a huge fan of using the name Jesus. I know it's, oh, that's American. I prefer using the term Yeshua HaMashiach, the Christ. Or, no, HaMashiach, the Messiah. So, and we have in, let's see, it is Hebrews, that's Malachi, I believe it's right here. We will find it, bear with me. Here it is. So Hebrews 5, we'll do Hebrews 5:5, and let's go to Hebrews 5:5. So, also, the Messiah did not extol himself to become high priest, but it was he who said to him, "You are my son today, I have brought you forth." He also says in another place, "You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek." So we have to understand, as we go through this, you will learn that how can we put this? The fleshly priests is the Levites. Yeshua is not he's not a Levite. He comes from the line of David through his father Joseph. David was of the tribe of Judah. Yeshua was a Yehudi man. He was from the tribe of Judah, not a Levite, because that's the names the 12 tribes. Not all of them, but 2 of the 12 tribes. And then we'll go 5:9. And having been perfected, he became the causer of everlasting deliverance, as the pages are sticking together. And having been perfected, he became the causer of everlasting deliverance in those obeying him, having been designated by Elohim a high priest according to the order of Melchizedek. So this is one of the many times throughout the Bible that you're actually going to see God made flesh come basically to earth and then who's God made flesh? Yeshua HaMashiach. So in the Bible, when we see a messenger of Yah and capitalized, that's an indication that's usually dad in human form. Something to keep in mind. And I know somebody goes, no, he is this. Nope, we're going to go to this. But in my humble opinion, through my readings and stuff like that, Melchizedek is Yeshua. He knows no birth. He knows no death. He is one of 3 individuals in the Bible that never see death. Something to think about. And that's where we're going to end with that. So let you brew on that amazing, mind-blown stuff. And I know some of you are like, blah, blah, blah. You can have, I welcome constructive comments, inquisitive comments. If you're going to start bashing and saying, well, my pastor, my bishop, my prophet, I don't care. That's not up for debate. I probably won't even answer it. And if you get too nasty, I'll probably delete you. But if you're just like, hey, well, what about this, this, and this? We can have a conversation. I look forward to that. I love discussing this stuff. But with that, as always, blessings and Shabbat. Not Shabbat. I'm sorry. I have been on the road for 2 days now. As you can see, I'm in a hotel. So we're doing a Bible reading on the road as we move to, we have crossed the Umatilla River. It's not quite the Jordan, but we have crossed the Umatilla River. That's going to be a totally big joke with somebody that know me. But we are we are now home. We are in our promised land that the Dad told me. Yahweh said, you're going here. But with that, I'm rambling again. I tried not to ramble on these. Blessings. Shalom. Till next time. Thank you for listening to the Bible readings.